Welcome to our first Friday of the month, and we have Presiding Commissioner Darrell Skiles with us, and we're taking this a little bit early. Darrell's got a few things to get done on this Friday morning, so we're here on Thursday afternoon getting it done. And Darrell, thank you for coming in and making time to get the program recorded.
You're welcome, Stan, and thank you for allowing me to go ahead and record this a little bit early. I think it probably maybe worked out a little bit better for both of us. But Friday was getting jammed up, so so as you said, we're recording this the day before. So if it sounds kind of funky sometimes when we refer to things, why that'll be the reason. But I do appreciate everybody that's tuned in and listening here on Friday morning.
Well, one of the things that we always try and allude to is that we try and get these programs in on time and the best we can, and we do try and make accommodations when we have to try and get things done. You're going to be busy. I'm going to kind of be busy. So like you said, it's going to work out really well. This is like a 3-day news broadcast, if you want to put it that way, for you, because we had Memorial Day off. And so, but a lot of things are finally getting done because the weather's finally, Darrell, starting to cooperate a little bit. Still rain out there in the forecast. It's going to affect us, but I think for the first time in like maybe 7 or 8 weeks, the commission actually almost had like a full week of being able to grade.
Right, yeah. It's just been raining so much, and you just can't grade the roads when they're, we're talking about gravel roads. You just can't grade gravel roads when they're muddy. So it's been quite a challenge for the crews, and we know there's a lot of potholes out there, and they've been very busy working on those. They've been busy trying to keep culverts opened up to get the water to drain off and so forth and so on. We had, just this morning, we had a gentleman in. He's been waiting for some culverts and some drainage work on his road. Actually, I talked to Commissioner Mowbray just a little bit ago, actually, and they went on out and they were at least able to, with the grader, address the drainage and the ditch problem, and they'll get back later and address the culvert issues. But for right now, just addressing the ditch issue, I think he was pretty happy to have gotten that kind of rectified for the time being, because that was a large part of the problem. So it's just always a challenge this time of year to get all the places you want to get to. So, but they were able to take care of that. But they've been busy. They've been busy on the roads every chance they had, and it's just been a challenge. But we've had storms. We've had the crews out late in the evening, sometimes getting limbs and trees off the roads, things. So it's just been spring in the Ozarks. That's all you can say.
And I don't think people really understand when they say, I need my culvert replaced. That should not be a big deal. Well, Darrell, you know as well as I do, if you have to dig something up, put a culvert in, put it back in, that ground's not going to have time to settle and solidify around that culvert. And if you get a big storm where that water comes rushing down, you may find your culvert 30, 40, 50 feet down the road.
Yeah, right. That's always a problem, especially with a fresh laid-in culvert and getting the ground settled around it, so that if water does come over it, it'll wash over the road and not just wash away the loose fill that's all around it, and then you got a bigger mess than you had to start. So, it's always a challenge, but they get to it and eventually it all works out in the end. It isn't like anybody's sitting out at the road and bridge shed not doing anything. It's just a matter of trying to get everybody spread out, and then you've got some of your crews that are off and gone and sick and this and that. So I do want to mention one thing, though, that did come up. Some folks came in asking for a speed limit on County Road 6040, and they brought in a petition and been signed by the folks that live on that road. So the commission did approve that, and that has been sent to the state and to the various law enforcement authorities, advising them of that. So we were able to get that done.
And there is a process to that in case, by the way, somebody says, well, I'd like to have a speed limit on my road. Well, you just can't go out there and come to the commission meeting and say, I want a speed limit of 25 or 30 miles an hour on that road. You do have to get a petition. You have to have it signed by those people living on that road.
That's right. We ask that they, and it's nothing elaborate. You can just take any legal pad or whatever, and if all the folks that live on that road would sign a petition asking that it have a speed limit placed on it. Unless if it's not posted, the speed limit is 50 miles per hour. That's the state speed limit, and that's what it reverts to. 50 miles an hour. Hey, that's really too fast for a gravel road. Period. But unless there's a separate speed limit and then a posted sign with that speed limit on the road, then it's 50 miles an hour. Now we got several of these that we've put speed limits on of 40
Sure.
or 30 or 35 or something, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But I know Representative Copeland and I visited about this issue, and he actually, along with Senator Brown, sponsored legislation this past year in Jeff City to lower that state speed limit to 40 miles an hour unless marked otherwise.
Sure.
It would still give you the ability, if it was a chip and seal road maybe or something else, to go ahead and post a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. But at any rate, so the bill got some traction, but Jeff City was it was a circus this year, as we all know and we've heard. And, bills get attached or amendments get attached once, and sometimes an amendment gets attached to somebody's bill to where they can't even stand the bill themselves, and so that ended up not making it. But one of these days, it will end up getting attached onto something, and it will make it through. But at any rate, for the time being, though, as it is, we can post speed limits. But always the challenge is keeping the signs up. I mean, spend a lot of money and drives you nuts just trying to keep the doggone signs up on the roads. So at any rate, we did approve that. It has been sent off to all the various proper entities that have to know, and by law we have to send this off for the state and so on, so that they know. So anyway, we got that done.
And the Road and Bridge Department does create their own signs, but the problem is that now getting the materials and everything is just so high,
Right.
That even the cost of not having to buy signs pre-done, it's still very expensive to replace all those signs if people decide they want to keep stealing them or destroying them.
Right. And it's just the time that it takes with the manpower. If they had a statewide speed limit of 40 miles per hour, unless posted otherwise, you wouldn't have to have any signs at all.
Right.
That's what it would be. So, man, it would save a bundle. But anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But
That's
otherwise, the crews, they've been grading, like you said, every chance they can, cutting brush, cleaning out culverts and ditches and things. I will mention a couple of things. We did buy a couple of pieces of equipment. We reported last time about a dump truck that we got. And
Right.
we also bought a new tractor mower combination machine. It's actually called a Mantis, Mantis. This is kind of a new concept. Huge, or I say huge. It's a big machine. It's four-wheel drive, but it's got steering. It's very adaptable. It can actually crawl sideways a little bit. It can almost turn around in its own tracks in the middle of a road. And it's actually made down in Texas. I forget the town, but it's made here in the United States. And we did go ahead and purchase one of these from Springdale Tractor. And they are listed price-wise on what's called Sourcewell, which basically puts them in the same deal with state bid.
State bid.
So it's been a good bid that we got. So real interested in seeing how that works. It actually comes, excuse me, it actually has a hitch even on the front that we could sometime mount an implement of some kind if we want on the front of it to use as well, a blade attachment or something along that line.
The interesting thing about this piece of machinery, and I was able to actually see some of the brochures on it, whereas many times what the county has had in the past, and virtually every road department's had in the past, is a tractor that has been accessorized to do brush cutting. And this is actually put together to do brush cutting and then do other jobs like snow removal and different other things in addition to what it can do with the brush cutting. But it is flexible enough to do a lot of different things brush cutting that a tractor, even with the arms, could never ever imagine doing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it was made specifically to be a brush cutting machine and have capabilities to go ahead, as you say, do some other things, plow with the front of it or something. Otherwise, it's always been like Ford or New Holland or John Deere tractors that have been, as you say, retrofitted, and they're an ag tractor for use on farm. This is a little different application, and that's okay. They've been all right, but we're going to see how this machine works. I know so far the operator reports he can cover a lot more ground in the same amount of time with this machine, which my thinking is if he can do that, then he's using less diesel also.
Exactly.
And at nearly $5 a gallon, even for road and bridge, it's anything you can do to save a little money there is a real plus. So anyway, was real glad to go ahead and get that bought, get it done.
Very good.
And we are going to be using some ARPA funds to pay for it.
Very good.
We got hit with a loss of revenue and things from the Department of Revenue withholding, and we're still working through some more. But we got ARPA funds there that we can use, and that's what we're done with it. And so, anyway,
very good. Well, because of that, though, we're now going to be putting out. They're going to be seeking bids on a New Holland tractor that they're currently using.
The old one
that really is a pretty good machine.
It'd be a pretty decent machine for a farm machine somebody needed. It's a '96 New Holland tractor. I asked about the how many hours that it had on it, but it's had the hour meter replaced. I don't know what happened, but at any rate, it's had the hour meter replaced. But at any rate, it is a '96, and it does have the side mount bush hog. Now it's just a 2-wheel drive. Since we bought that one in '96, most of them have been 4-wheel drive or front wheel assist John Deere tractors. But this is the '96 New Holland. So
with new brakes and air conditioning too.
It's had some. Yep, it's just had some recent work done on it. So I mean, it should be in good shape to go ahead and take somewhere and use. The bids on that will be due back in by 10 a.m. June 23rd.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
There's no complications. We'll probably open them at that time or shortly after. We may have something else that we have to open.
Well, we have some bids coming in on the 16th, Darrell.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting to see what that is.
Chip and seal.
Yeah.
Yep. We did vote to go ahead and put out. We had about $270,000 that we budgeted for chip and seal this year. And yes, you're right. That's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, because we know the cost of the oil and everything, and everything is just much higher.
And the chips are up big time too, according to Commissioner Mowbray.
Yep. So it's we'll see how far 265,000 will go.
Yeah, no kidding. May not go very far. He may be able to, do the 4th Street right next to the courthouse and call it quits.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm anxious to see what they are. I know it's going to be. I know they're going to be probably the highest we've ever dealt with. But time will tell.
All right, very good. So we did finally have redistricting that was approved finally by the state and moved forward. And we did have Grant Wilson in from Congressman Jason Smith's office in, and he kind of visited with the commission about that.
Yep. Grant Wilson works out of the Rolla office for Congressman Smith, and he did come in and just visit. He likes to drop in every month and a half or two. And but yes, the new congressional maps now are done, and for the 8th district, which is represented currently by Jason Smith from here at Salem, he actually lost 2 counties, and they are Crawford and Washington counties. And in place of some of that he lost, he picked up some more. He already had a portion of Jefferson County, but now he's got a much larger portion of that.
It goes all the way up to the Merrimack River now. That includes the city of Arnold, and we'll also pick up Hillsborough, I believe, out there as well. So you get 2 fairly decent-sized cities, but you lose 2 whole counties.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, and that was a shame, because Washington and Crawford County both really more fit the mold of the same type, as far as industry and how people business-wise and everything. So, but it's all right. It's it just periodically changes.
Right. There's still a lot of agriculture out there around Arnold. Of course, it goes right up to the Mississippi River as well as the Merrimack River. It's right there at that junction right there.
But in general, it's much
35 years ago, it was as rural as we are right here.
Well, sure.
But not anymore.
But these days, that would be a much more urban-oriented
absolutely.
Living environment and so on. So, but at any rate, that'll be all right. So we got that done.
Got
and then Representative Copeland was stopped in to visit about the last legislative session, and as we said, it was, and he alluded to that it was kind of a mess up there this year and very frustrating. But at any rate, but he did get, he mentioned some things he felt pretty good about. He was able to get a bill through having to do with regulations on logging trucks.
Right.
And he knew himself from being a state patrol trooper, and especially working with the weights and measures part of things. There are some things that were inconsistent, needed to be changed in the regulations as far as dealing with log trucks. So so it made it through. He was able to get it added to the agricultural bill. So it made it through. So he's glad of that. And then there's other legislation that was that would have been very good, but just simply didn't make it. And so anyway, all these things though are sitting on the governor's desk. There were also then that's one thing he mentioned that they passed was the $500 million tax credit,
right.
$500 refund for every single, or $1,000 for couples that file income taxes. I don't know that we ever heard for sure when that comes. When
right, still haven't heard yet on that
I'm
either.
checking my mailbox every day, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And when you hear about these things, and of course he was kind of filling in all the different things, including the recommendation by the state that the teacher salaries be $38,000, and he was warning about that, and he just said, that's great, but it's a 1-year grant. It's just for 1 year, and if these school districts opt in, what are they going to do the following year?
There you go.
If they don't have the money to do it, then you really have a hard time giving everybody raise up to $38,000 and cutting them back where they were 2 years ago.
I was on school board for 20 years, and it always frustrated me when there'd be some great new program the state would give you some grant money for the first year, and then the next year you were on your own, and you had hired people to carry on that program, but then the grant money ran out, and they wanted you to somehow pick up the money, the slack, and pay for that. Like if you had enough money to do that beforehand, wouldn't you probably have already been doing it? But at any rate, it's always a challenge on that, and we'll see how that works.
But Darrell, as well as I do, giving the teachers grant you, I think it's a great idea to give them $38,000. But the people who've already been there, that have worked up and maybe are right now just reaching that $38,000 or $39,000 level, you can't just give somebody maybe a $5,000 or $6,000 raise and then keep them there. They're going to have some kind of stipend or increase in their salary. So when you start adding all this together, the school districts, I just don't know where they're going to get that kind of money, especially in the rural areas.
Yeah. It is just many of them are running just pretty tight. And as you say, it's great to get some grant dollars that'll pay for it 1 year. But then what do you tell them the next year? You're going to go back and cut their salary then? That's not going to fly very good. So I don't know. Yeah. That one there is a little perplexing as to what they felt like they were accomplishing to do that in the big scheme of things. So, but at any rate,
I applaud Ron for saying he wanted to go around and talk to superintendents just to let them know, this is a 1-year deal. So if you make that decision, you need to really figure out some kind of stipend for the next year, or try and figure out another way, because I don't know what will happen to schools after 1 year of going to $38,000 and then having to drop it back. I don't know how that would affect districts throughout the state. I have no idea.
Yeah. And it was an interesting year.
Yeah, very interesting year.
We, as I said, we'd hoped the bill that he sponsored, he and Senator Brown both there, to reduce the speed limits from 50 to 40, on those roads would make it. And because there's just no reason for there to be any opposition to it. And it's not that there was opposition to it, but the problem is it gets added to bills or gets attached, and it gets stuff attached to it that people can't stand, and they can just, we've been down this road before, no pun intended. They attach bills and attach amendments that shouldn't be and all, and that's one of the big problems and the big gripes that a lot of people, including Ron, have up there is the process and how they let things get tainted and things. So anyway, but that's where it's at. So hopefully next year maybe we can work with our state rep and maybe get it attached then to something else that's pretty popular and ends up having to go through.
But you know what I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what I do like about what Ron has said and done, and about a lot of the different some of the representatives that we now have in the Senate. They either have been business people or public servants, or they may have been commissioners at one time, and now they're representatives who have a little bit better understanding. Sometimes when people just get elected, they've never served in any kind of capacity to know what is involved. I know it's got to be an eye-opening experience when they get there, but then they seem to have like an agenda why they're there. It's not that they're there to I'm not going to say they're not going to be there to serve the public, but they never served in that capacity. And like Ron did as a highway patrol officer, we had to hear all kinds of different things and be involved in all kinds of different things. And he was up at Ferguson when all that stuff was going on. He realized that there's a lot of different things that most people who might run for office are never going to ever see.
There's been a lot of reps and senators that actually have come back home and actually went ahead and ran for commission and got on commission. And every one of them, when you talk to them when they get back home and actually end up serving in county government, almost always they go, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea when I was up there what we were doing to local county government," which filters down to the local taxpayers.
Sure.
That's why we go up there. That's why I've been very active in the Commission Association, as we try to get things done, not for the benefit of the commissioners, but for the benefit of our constituents that we serve as well, and why we work so hard at trying to work with the legislators to try to give them a little bit of education and a view about something that they're doing, how it would ripple back and what the effect would be. So but hey, that's how it works. I don't know of any better system in the world that I want to move to and live under. So
no, that's true.
We'll work with the system we got and keep trying to make it, improve it, make it better. So it works. We got some things done, and of course, I knew an old legislator years ago that said that he was convinced that they'd be better off if they went up there 1 year and didn't pass anything. And so he, after being there a few years, he had a very negative view about
I can imagine,
and so on. So, but at any rate, that's where we're at, and we'll deal with it. He also mentioned one thing that did. Now, again, as we say, all these things are yet to be signed by the governor,
right? So
it doesn't mean they're in effect. But another interesting one was $100 million a grant program, an additional $100 million that was going to be available for rural roads, etc. But no hard, tangible information about that as far as how that was going to work and through and so forth and so on. But it does kind of give us pause to think about how that might work, ideally if it would. But we'll see.
Yeah, but you got to wonder where that money's coming from, don't you? Where's that extra $100 million coming from? I often wonder myself sometimes.
Well,
one of the things I know you and the commissioners did attend an IDA board meeting.
Before we go to that,
I'm sorry.
That's what I was trying to find here in my notes. I did want to mention one other thing in regards to Representative Copeland.
Sure.
We did. Commissioner Mulberry and I did attend a presentation down at the Wardak University farm.
That's right.
There's a farm down at Cook Station. Many folks may not realize it. Many of the folks in the ag community do. But we have a Wardak research farm down at Cook Station. It's about 1,200 or 1,300 acres altogether. Nearly 400 of it is actually in Dent County, on the Dent County side. And Brent Booker, local boy there that grew up at Cook Station, been working for the farm down there for nearly 40 years, but been the manager of the farm down there most of those years for the university. Just done a tremendous job, and he retired this spring from that. So I talked to Ron one day about, there's a candidate that should be recognized with a resolution honoring his service. So Ron got me some of that information. I got some of it filled out. I sent up to the university fellows at Columbia folks and visited with them, and they filled some out. And so between us, we got the information all filled out and got it back to Ron, and he was able to get that through. Then our trick became finding the time when we could get all the parties together to present it. So here, actually just about a week ago today, I think it was, we met down there at the farm, and it got got Brent there and his family. It was kind of a surprise to Brent, but had a nice little deal, and did appreciate Ron, Representative Copeland, getting that resolution together. It's from he and Jason Chipman, who was the rep,
Sure.
has been the rep for Crawford County. Now with the redistricting, Crawford County becomes Ron Copeland's district.
Right.
It's a new district. But at any rate, did enjoy being able to, and appreciate Ron getting that, and enjoyed being able to be there and see Brent get that recognition that he deserved. So I know a lot of folks listening know Brent Booker and would agree with me that he was really key and instrumental to the workings of that farm and it working the way that place needed to be.
Didn't have to worry
cool.
about anything with Brent out there. He just didn't have to worry about it.
He was always on it.
Yeah.
Made it click. So anyway, I knew I had that in my notes. Wanted to mention one other thing.
Sure.
Well, several other things, but anyway, we had Zach Mosier from the health center came in,
Okay.
and one day, and he's been some things that the health department would like to do, and inquired. He got several different little projects kind of in the works that they're undergoing, but one of the things he mentioned was wondering if they could access some of the ARPA funds for a program of community messaging awareness, increasing community messaging awareness capabilities. And so I don't have all the details with me, but he had an estimated cost of around $36,000 or something like that. So we did approve making a total of up to $37,000 available in ARPA funds for that project, for them to go ahead and get started moving forward on that. So we'll be hearing more about that as they get to moving into it, and I may have him come on sometime and even talk a little bit about
exactly.
what it is they're trying to do there.
Doing a lot of different things down there at the Dent County Health Center.
It's been a busy place, especially over the last couple of years with the COVID situation.
Absolutely.
So anyway, actually, this afternoon or this morning, we had commission meeting on Thursday morning, and as we mentioned, we're taping this Thursday afternoon, but on Thursday morning, Sheriff Wells came in, and we're doing some improvements in our 911 center down at the sheriff's office, and he did come in with a need that they need to put a new heat pump quote / air conditioning unit in down there to serve the 911 area need. It's so we did approve going ahead with that. It's an estimated cost of about $4,200. So that'll help get our 911 center a lot more usable and get up to date. But they needed that unit, so we did get that taken care of.
Did they have a date when that was going to be finished, Darrell?
No, they're just kind of doing it a little bit of time, and some
Okay.
of it is just even some of his own workers as they figure out how they want to do it, and they just get the material and they're just doing it.
Okay.
So,
I just
we'll
didn't
be
know if there
paying
was
for that out of the building. The work, that particular deal, and the work on as far as the physical, the office area and things, we're just paying out of the building and grounds budget. We approved earlier some of the equipment and the console and a lot of that stuff out of ARPA.
Right.
But this would just be out of the regular general revenue building and grounds budget. I would mention also then that the commission attended an IDA board meeting here a week or so ago. And at that meeting, we heard an update from Salem-Dent County Economic Development Director Sally Burbridge on all the various aspects of the work that she's in. And now to think about it, here we're past the end of the month, we'll probably have Sally at our next commission meeting.
Yep.
She usually is in about the first
Monday
meeting.
of the
She didn't
month.
make it in on Thursday's meeting, so that's
No.
So, but she'll probably come in, and she talked about a lot of things. But one of the main things she talked about again is this project she's been basically responsible for is getting this certified site development done over at the
Masters Industrial Park.
Yep. Could be very key to us getting, many of these inquiries about a business wanting to locate in your area. Is there a site ready to build on that has utilities and things there and ready?
Yep. Internet access, road access. Is it flat? Is it ready to go?
Yep. And cleaned off. And so with the work they've been doing on that, clearing it off, we're going to have a large area that would be ready for whatever tenant that would want to come in. So that's good. And, and that was the whole point of why we worked so hard to get Sally here and get really a full-time economic development director, and it is a partnership really with the city and the county. The IDA board is a part of that partnership as well, but the IDA board is under the umbrella of the county commission too. We appoint the board members, and they're covered under our insurance and so on. So at any rate, Sally's doing a great job, and appreciate her work on that. And when the IDA board meets, generally the commission, one or all of us, try to be there with them, and we don't vote. I mean, they vote on some different things, and they have some projects going on. But always like to find out what's going on.
And the Welcome Home program, the first 4 applicants that they've got going, and they're all signed up, and they're moving forward on that. And the next 4 are just about, they've got them all ready to go now. Just have the process finishing that out, and having them to sign the papers. That'll probably be in 3 weeks or so. And they're working on the next group. So she's on top of a lot of different things. I don't know how she keeps everything up to date. And she's working, trying to get the school and the city working together on that construction trades building that was to be put at the school. Time is starting to run out on that, and she's worked hard at trying to find other ways of finding the money to make that happen. And I know she's... and as we do this, there'll be a special meeting of the R80 board tonight that I know she's going to be there as long as she can to present some of this information, because I'll tell you what, that'd be something, that would be horrible to lose that opportunity. As much good work as the construction trades program has been, you'd hate to not get that building and get those things done that they need to have to store their equipment in, and parts and supplies and things of that nature.
And Sally's been a great driving force.
Absolutely. But there's only so much she can do, because it is on R80 property, that the city can back it with the CDBG grant of $500,000, but only once the R80 school district has their money in place that can be spent first. So that all has to be done, and that has to be done by September, Darrell, and that's going to be upon us pretty quick.
Yep. Yeah, very quick.
Yeah.
Hard to believe we're even saying that.
Yeah, yes, so we tip our cap to Sally. She has done an incredible job.
Yep. So anyway, did want to mention that. So I appreciate her coming to the IDA board meetings as well and everything and reporting things. A couple other things I just want to mention.
Sure.
The county clerk, Angie Curley, she did want to remind everybody that businesses that sell liquor licenses, the county licenses expire June the 30th of each year. So those businesses need to bring a copy of their current state of Missouri license with them, come down to the county clerk's office and get their their liquor license renewed to sell liquor.
Get that done before July 1st.
Right. They expire June 30th, so get it done before then. Yeah. So, and then also she mentioned applications are available in the hall of the courthouse for lead-based paint hazard program. It's available through MRPC, and that there are grant dollars available for lead paint abatement.
Right.
And so.
And that I had a chance, Sally, actually, when she came in one time, and we had a chance to talk with her about that. She brought in Mr. Stites, who is the program manager from MRPC, Patrick, and they talked about it. And if you own a home, and it can be a grandmother, it can be a grandfather, if you have a child that stays with you for more than 3 hours a day at a time, and it doesn't have to be every day, if you have it like 15 hours in a week or something of that nature, hey, you qualify for this program. If you've got older paint on that house, then you'd like to have it checked out, doesn't cost you anything to contact them, and they can come and take a look. And if your paint is lead, you may qualify for this. If you own your house, there's a lot of free money that's available. For renters, you do have to put up a 15% match to that, but still 15% match if you have a house that you're renting that's in desperate need of some repainting, and you've got lead paint. Highly recommended. And again, this program it's available for another couple of years, but once the money runs out, and that's it. So if you've got an interest in this program, just call Patrick Stites at 265-2993. Is that
265-2993? That's
and extension
number at MRPC. I don't remember extension.
I think it's 135.
If you call MRPC at 265-2993, ask for Patrick Stites and inquire about the lead paint program. He'll get to you. He'll either get to you right then, or he'll call you back.
Right, and you can just go on the MRPC website if you're not familiar with it, and once you click on there, if you go to their programs, you'll see that lead-based program in there. It's listed. All you got to do is click on it, and it'll give you all the details that you need.
Yep. So, anyway, did want to mention that.
Very good.
Would mention, too, then coming up. this
Coming up.
Saturday, you got the Chamber of Commerce Business Expo from 9 a.m. to noon up here at the Crossroads,
That's right.
Highway 19 and 3272.
You have it.
Around the Chamber
Right.
Visitor Center.
Have an opportunity to see maybe some businesses you don't know about, what's right here locally from 9 to 12. Big event going on downtown, too.
That's right. We have Taste of Dent County, and that'll be an interesting deal. That'll be taking place then from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the Courthouse Square.
Yep.
So come up and check that out. There'll be people up there who have a lot of different things. Taste of Dent County, pretty well. There'll be some things you can sample to taste and eat that are produced right here in Dent County.
Right. A lot of those people work through Naturally Merrimack, and and they have really marketed a lot of different products out of the Ozarks that have caught on in other locations. So I hope you get a chance to go down there and see it. You're going to probably see some products that you didn't even know existed here.
I just about guarantee.
Yeah, and one of them will be from the Ozark Meadery, and they are going to have some samples there, and you can find some different types of beverages made from honey, and that's distilled honey. So it should be interesting, and that's just one of the many things that's going to be down there. But and there's a number of different exhibits that are going to be there. So definitely want to check that out.
Sarah Massengale with University Extension helped kind of coordinate this deal and put it together, working with the Naturally Merrimack folks over at the Merrimack Regional Planning Commission. Yeah.
Right, and then kind of have a little summer fest down there as well at the bottom of the street. That's going to be going on too. So you're downplaying though the big event though, Darrell. You're downplaying your third place finish.
Oh yes. I mean, we had. I also wanted to thank and congratulate the organizers and volunteers and yourself, Stan, for an excellent job of emceeing the 10K, 5K color run. Was held this past Saturday. Yeah. That's down on 4th Street and around the courthouse, or down by the courthouse.
Down by the courthouse, yes, sir.
So, I did participate in the 5K run, walk, stroll, depending on how you view your. I was pleasantly surprised to find that I came in third. So, I stroll pretty fast, I guess, sometimes. But anyway, so.
But it's interesting.
I did enjoy it. Now, I'm not sure. That was in my age group. I came in third place,
that's right.
So I don't know. I'm hoping there was more than 3 people participated in my age group, but I'm not going to look at that too closely.
But it's interesting when you take a site like that, you actually walk it or even stroll it, jog it, whatever. You're going to see things there you don't see every day, because when you're driving, you can't take your eyes off the road. And in some people's yards, or you say, hey, I didn't even know that guy did that. Or you go by something that's changed on the street or something like that. And it really is pretty amazing, because the things you take for granted that you see every day when you're going at a slower pace, not a bad thing, Darrell.
Right. And the whole point of this was to raise some money to help to be used to help develop some more walking trails in the area here in the city.
There's some pretty interesting plans out there.
Yeah.
So,
but
one step at a time, right? And no pun intended.
One step at a time.
Yeah, but it was a fun event, and
it was.
Over 200 people participated, and I think that's the neatest thing for the very first one.
It was every age, just about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The kids really enjoyed the color run.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I watched that. So
anyway, a couple of them went through it more than once.
Yeah, it looked like it for sure. So anyway, did enjoy that, and again, really, I am assuming, Stan, you probably know more than I, but I'm assuming this is probably going to be an annual event.
That's their hope. That's their hope, and right now
we had folks come in from outside the area.
Yeah, we had some Illinois people coming by. We had a lot of people from Rolla was here, some people from Steelville, talked to a couple of people from Cuba that came in for the run, and had a gentleman come from Marys County. I didn't catch that it wasn't one of the towns I recognized, but he said he was from Marys County, and so I'm assuming that he was here for the run because we can't keep up on where they go afterwards. But the idea was, and talking with Sean Bowler-Jack, and he's one of the coordinators of that, is to get people here for the weekend. It was a Memorial Day weekend. Get them down, come in for the run that morning, and then you have the rest of the day. Heck, you can go do a float trip, enjoy it, to go. And spend some time in town for the Memorial Day weekend, different things going on. And, it's kind of interesting to see how this will, play out over the long term, Darrell, because you have one event and you build other ones around it and just continue to make more. And so congratulations again to them. I don't know if people know how much work goes into putting those events together. Not only the 5K, 10K Color Run, but the Taste of Dent County, the Summerfest,
always a bunch of volunteers
the Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. Yeah, a lot of volunteers, but it's a lot of extra work by people, and not only by the people putting it on, but the people who are participating to bring you their products. They bring products out of their stores or their services out of their stores and bring them out to you so that you can see them in a location more convenient for you.
Yep. It takes, again, how many times we go back to this talking about all the volunteers that it takes. It makes the wheel go round.
A bunch. And I did want to bring up, and I know it wasn't brought up at the commission meeting today, and I'm sure will be next week, is that we actually have a Salem choir that's going to start performing out on the courthouse lawn. Their first concert's going to be on June 12th. And I know, I keep looking at it, Darrell. I can't believe we're in June already, and that's why I thought, wow, that's going to be here before you know it. And Catherine Dent is leading that, and I want to tip my cap to her. She's got a number of people that came together for a community choir, and they're going to be performing on the courthouse lawn, and that will be on the 12th of June. They'll do it every couple of weeks.
Right, on Sunday afternoons. Yep, be pretty neat. Yep, lots of stuff always going on. I wanted to back up, though, and mention something
Yes, sir.
I think I neglected. When we were talking about that we're going to put out for bid to sell that 96 New Holland tractor with the side mount mower, I failed to mention there that anybody interested in that, please call the Road and Bridge Department at 729-7770. Talk to Rodney Atkinson down there and set up a time to come out and take a look at it and see, obviously if you're interested in bidding on it, you're going to want to see it.
More likely.
Start it up, drive a little bit maybe, and see that,
Yeah.
does. So, just call if you're interested in that New Holland tractor and mower. Call 729-7770, the Road and Bridge Department, and talk to Rodney Atkinson.
Very
Set up a
good.
time to come and check it out. Yeah.
Very good.
I don't think we mentioned that one.
We did not.
Talking about
We
it
did not
earlier.
mention that. No,
So,
sir.
Anyway, so, with that, I believe that just about catches me up here, Stan.
Well, we always want to thank Darrell for coming in and giving us the extra time to go over some things that you may not read in the newspaper or hear about even on the radio, or even if you attended a meeting. If you're not there for the 3 hours or plus that the commissioners are meeting, you might miss something, and then this way, we try and get you up to date on what those items just might be, whether it be a communication from somebody like Ron Copeland or Representative Jason Smith or somebody else. We always enjoy hearing from them, and that kind of keep us up to date on different things. But at the same time, Darrell, you know how busy it can be. We get to this time of year. We've got a lot of people coming vacationing and different things. Who knows what this gas and situation is going to be, and I know a lot of people may have to curb their vacations that they originally wanted to go on. But that being said, I should say a lot of people who are close in vicinity may end up coming to Salem and taking advantage of a little nice getaway from their everyday life and just slow it down a little bit.
That's right. No better place to be, especially this time of year.
Right. Got so many different things going on.
Opening the trout season on. I always say the opening of trout season's the first day of spring.
You've got some events going on at Echo Bluff. There's some things going on down there. You've got events going on in Montauk. You've got different things going on all around town. So don't pass them up.
Talked to some friends of ours that were down here, came through Salem this past weekend on their way down to float the Jack's Fork. And told me all about it. And I've got to get down there and float. I floated Jack's Fork once, but I want to float some of the upper portion of it sometime. And you got to do that kind of this time of year when there's a little bit more water.
Got to have water.
Or
Yep.
you'll just basically be dragging your canoe or kayak for several miles.
I've
And that's
done
not
that
much
before.
fun.
That's not a lot of fun.
That's not a lot of fun. No. If you're going to do that, just skip the kayak and walk it.
Yeah. Actually, I actually remember tubing down a river that got very narrow, and all of a sudden you can almost feel the rocks coming through. I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah, it could be rough. Anyway.
Not good. But again, we want to thank Darrell for coming in and spending some time with us. Remember, this program is paid for by Darrell. It's not a free program. He does pay for this out of his own pocket. We thank him for doing that. He's doing it to provide you with information about your county you may not ever hear in radio land or on video streams or in the newspaper or maybe even just in a daily conversation. You may miss it.
Yep.
A lot of stuff.
That's right. Yep. I hope folks learned something that they didn't know, and appreciate the opportunity, Stan. And we'll be back here, back on the air, about the 17th, I guess it'd be, of June, probably.
Yes, sir.
See, tomorrow's the 3rd. Yep, be the 17th. And so until then, I would encourage everybody, come on into town Saturday and check out the Chamber of Business Expo and the Taste of Dent County. And at any rate, until we're back here on the air in a couple of weeks, if I don't see you at the commission meeting, I hope everyone will be safe, happy, healthy, and God bless each and every one of you.